Hi everyone, my name is Victoria and welcome to Tuesday Tips. Now today I'm going to talk about how to create a social media strategy with these 6 tips.
That's good.
Alright, number 1, your timeline and goals. These are the first and the most important aspects of your social media strategy. The timeline. How long is this social media strategy supposed to be used for? And what is your goal? Every video, you're probably sick and tired of hearing me say, but your goals are so important because your goals direct your actions and your methods so you can reach them. So what's your timeline? Is this social media strategy for a month? Is it for 3 months? Is it for the year? And what is the goal? What's the objective? It's social media. It could be sales. It could be to increase following. It could be to increase brand awareness, build community. If you have multiple goals, that's fine. But you have to have, or rather I would suggest that you have, if you want to remain truly focused, a primary goal and a secondary goal. Those 2 goals or 3 goals are the most important thing. I think someone said, if you have more than 3 priorities, they're not priorities. So put it to 3, but I would say 2, because that's what's going to overrule anything else that might come your way. So that one primary goal, what's the most important thing? I know as business owners we have multiple goals, but you have to have one singular goal for one singular thing, and everything else is an addition that comes on, right? So have a singular goal, have a timeline, because that timeline is what you're going to use to measure how far you've come along and what you need to do to push your efforts. Okay, part 2, the thing that most people dread, most business owners never do, and most marketers keep pushing you to do: a social media audit. Now that you have your timeline, now that you have your goal, you need to take inventory of where you are. Check all your social media profiles. How many followers do you have, right? Compared to how many followers you want, which is your ultimate goal. Or how many customers do you have, right? What kind of content are you posting right now? What's the engagement like? What type of content are you posting? Ask yourself, what am I doing now and what needs to change? That's what the audit is about. Don't take your audit lightly. It can show you some areas where you're actually improving. Social media platforms you didn't think were thriving are actually thriving, and it can show you where you really need to improve and what's not working and what your customers like and what your customers don't like. Do a social media audit. Number 3, have a budget. If you think that you can grow your following organically, yes, it's just gonna take a longer time. But if you want to expand your reach and meet your goals in your specific timelines, you're gonna need a budget. Did you know that Facebook, that owns Instagram, Facebook actually decreases organic reach for businesses specifically by almost 32%? Well, 32% as of 2019. I'm not sure what it is for 2020 or beyond, but Instagram specifically makes it their business to lower organic reach for brands. Why? Because they thrive off ads. Facebook has made it his business to push business owners to push ads and promotions because that's where they get their money from. Makes sense. And guess what Facebook owns? Instagram. And guess what else they own? WhatsApp. So if you are looking to just do organic reach, Facebook and Instagram and their algorithm that's always changing is out to get you. Not all the time, but when it comes to your budget, your no budget, it's gonna come after you. So have a budget. It doesn't mean that you have to spend $1,000 a month. If you have that cash and you have the resources and you have an expert managing your ads, fine. But if you're a startup, you need to go from 100 and up and start pushing. Anything less than that, you seriously don't want to grow. And I spoke about this in one of the 10 marketing mistakes that most people make, is that they never invest in their marketing. And your budget isn't just a budget. It isn't just your marketing or your ads demanding money. It's your business saying invest in your marketing so you can grow and gain sales. So have a social media budget, stick to it, reevaluate it, increase it or decrease it as fit. Okay, the good part. Number 3, your content and social media strategy. Now, what does that have to do with anything? That's really supposed to be 70 to 80% of your social media strategy. Now that you have a timeline, you have a guide, you have a budget, you've done your audit, which I advise you not to skip because it's going to influence what type of content you should continue to make, discontinue, and introduce to your audience. Take a look at your followers. What content gets the most engagement and how can you replicate it? What content have you not tried or you have less of it? Maybe if you add more, you could increase your sales, engagement, and your brand awareness. Think about it. When you decide that, you have a list. A lot of social media experts always say to have an evergreen folder. Whenever a piece of content does really good organically, make a note of it, what it was, what color it was, the layout, and try and replicate that or repurpose it for later, which we'll talk about, so you can continue to gain that exposure. Some brands actually find that for them, Facebook Live gives them more engagement than their regular post content, while another brand might find the complete opposite based on what their goals, needs, and audience is. So you have to find out what works for you. And number 3, part 2, is your social media strategy. Where are you gonna post all of this content? How often are you gonna post this content? What time? What day? What language? What caption? Okay, that's important because those two are supposed to be cohesive and they're supposed to mesh together. Create the content, decide when and where you're going to post that content, and the engagement that's gonna come along with it to put them together. Okay, number 5, your hashtag strategy. Almost every social media platform uses hashtag. LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Almost every social media platform uses hashtag. You need to have a hashtag strategy. Hashtags act like little discovery tags or snippets of SEO that allow people to find your content or for your content to appear with related keywords. So we all know that if we look up the hashtag boss babe, we're gonna see content related to boss babes. And if you look up foodie, we're gonna find some food content. So always have hashtag strategies. Now, it's funny I should say this because a lot of people are like, yeah, people use hashtags. You would be surprised at the amount of people who have businesses who post on their brand's page and they don't use hashtags. Don't do this. Instagram allows you to use 30 hashtags. I think YouTube allows you 30, LinkedIn a certain amount. So use that. Use all the hashtags that you can use because you want people to find you. Don't take it for granted that people already know your business and your brand and they're just gonna come flocking to you. No, hashtags are a great way for people to find you. And create a brand hashtag. A brand hashtag is a hashtag that has your slogan, your name, or something related to your brand that you use on all your content so people can easily find you. It could also be your username. So if someone is actually intentionally searching for you and they might have forgotten your username or they want to see content related to you, they can use your brand hashtag. So have a hashtag strategy. And number 6, KPIs and reviews. Now your KPI, key performance indicator is what it is. They're indicators that show you how far along you've come and how close or far you are from your goal. So it could be a benchmarker. Let's say that you have a social media strategy for 3 months and every month you want to gain 100 followers. So each month your KPI is 100 followers. As the month goes by, you're going to see how close and how far you are to each individual KPI. If you're far away, it means you need to boost up your budget, your strategy, your content, everything all in one. And if you're surpassing it, it means that you're gonna meet your goal closer at a closer time frame than you had expect. So your KPI is to keep track of your goal and make sure that everything aligns into it. It may seem a little bit tedious, but it doesn't have to be something that you are glued to. It doesn't have to be something that you're like, oh, just put on a sticky note, my KPI is 100 followers for this month. Boom. Look at that sticky note. Are you reaching that KPI for the month to reach your massive goal of 300 new followers? No. Work harder. Yes. Okay, we're on track. So that's what the KPI is for. It's making sure that your actions and everything that you have in your strategy is taking you to where you want to go. So it's breaking up that big goal into tiny little pieces to make sure that you reach it at the time frame you want. And yeah, don't forget, once again, social media strategy outline in the description on YouTube, IGTV, in my bio. Guys, a social media strategy is something that I use personally. There are a lot of people that don't document or have a solid social media strategy, and you can see it. You really can look on a brand's social media page, not just their Instagram page, and see that they have no strategy, they don't know what they're doing, and it's so obvious. And a lot of these customers are more marketing savvy than they used to be, so they can tell when a brand is organized, cohesive, really putting effort into the content, and people appreciate that. It shows that you put effort into what you're presenting, which means that you're gonna put effort in the customer service that you provide. If they see sloppy social media efforts, you're hardly online, your captions are sloppy and weird, it's gonna turn them away to go to somebody who can provide them with something that they need. So invest in your social media strategy, and don't just write it down, actually execute it. It's like a one-page business plan, right? It puts you in the right mindset, and it allows you to see the bigger picture rather than zooming into one location. So take that social media strategy, take these points and put them into action. They only work if you put them into action. If you test them, if you improve them, if you try them, if you experiment with them, but if you don't do anything with them, they're not gonna bring you the results you want. Alright guys, that's it. Those 6 points on how you can create a social media strategy. Now, if you want to use those 6 points, don't worry, you don't have to make any notes. I have a free social media strategy outline with those 6 points and more. If you're on YouTube, the link in my description. If you're on IGTV, link in my bio, and you guys can go from there. And I also have a freebie page with free online brand guide. Don't forget to click subscribe and share this with someone you think would really need this help. That's what these videos are for, helping. So, without further ado, I will see you guys next week, Tuesday.